Welcome to the Smithsonian Folklife Festival's Story Circle. All right. My name is Pablo Regis. I am a coordinator at the Folklife Festival and today's moderator for the Story Circle, which is Northeast to Southeast Brazil in DC music. We invite you to participate in a fascinating conversation on the intersections of Brazilian and American music and how that plays out here in Washington, D.C. with two very talented musicians from here. Today's presentation features real-time captioning. To access it, please use the link from the original event listing, or you can find it in the comments. We recommend opening it in a separate browser window or on a separate device. If you don't know us, please visit festival.si.edu to learn about Folklife Festival programs, events, and more. We have plenty of very compelling content that's going to come out soon. So today's event is part of Brazil in DC, which has received federal support from the Latino Initiatives Pool, administered by the Smithsonian Latino Center. This project acknowledges and celebrates the shared experiences between Brazilian communities and the African diaspora here in Washington, D.C. And one of the beautiful ways in which this happens is through music. So let me introduce our guests. We have, hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Cissa Paz, who is a singer-songwriter and eclectic performer influenced by the local jazz sounds and her Brazilian Afro and indigenous background. She's an ambassador of Brazilian music in DC, Washington, DC, with a passion for opening opportunities and to expand world music acceptance into American culture. You can find more information about Cissa right now in the chat, where her website will be listed. Then we have our next guest, who is Grammy-nominated progressive hip-hop artist and multi-instrumentalist from Southeast Washington, DC, Chris Styles Bacon. Chris Styles multitasks between various instruments such as West African djembe drum, acoustic guitar, and human beatbox, all while continuing the oral tradition of storytelling through lyrics. And he's been featured many, many times here at the Smithsonian Festival. He's one of the first hip-hop artists to be featured, and you can find links to those performances at Smithsonian in our chat as well as his website. Now, before we start, I want to invite everyone to participate in the conversation. So in the chat, you can post questions and comments. We invite you to share, and we'll be going through those as the program is progressing. And don't forget to share this with your friends. So our featured artists have a long-standing collaboration, which really embodies our themes. Cissa and Chris Styles blend American, Washingtonian, and Brazilian music. In 2015, they worked on a project called Washington Sound Museum, Hip Hop Meets Brazil. They will tell us more about this project later, but let's take a quick look at that clip now.
Four notes to each time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You. Yeah. Let's move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. First and the last. Yes. That.
at? Oh.
You gotta get him to that.
Wait, teach.
That is wonderful. I actually recognize that. I'm from Brasilia, and that's my hometown. I could see various parts of the city. That's beautiful. So we'll let the guests talk about it, but right now let's throw it over to Cisa Pais. Cisa, can you tell us about your work and perhaps some of the correlations that you see between the two cultures?
Sure. First of all, thank you guys so much for inviting me today. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and it's wonderful what you guys are doing during these times of hardships that we're all going through. So my name is Cisa Paz, and I'm a Brazilian singer, songwriter, and student of music. It's my lifelong passion. I've been doing it forever, but really professionally for the last maybe 8 years to 9 years. I started with Pablo a long time ago. He didn't mention that. We used to do faja parties, and it was really fun. We need to do some more of those sometime.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do a mixture of different Brazilian rhythms, more on the traditional side, but contemporary and very kind of modernized as well. People like to come to my show to dance. It's fun and upbeat, and the music that I record is a little bit different. My first album was released in 2015 and produced by JP Silva from Rio de Janeiro, and it was a mixture of Brazil, Africa, and indigenous stuff, which is mostly what I go for. It's like my preference, right? And the next album is going to be produced by Alberto Salgado out of Brasilia, and that's going to be out hopefully soon. Things are a little delayed because of COVID, but it's coming. It's coming. And you said the correlation between the music from here and the music from Brazil.
Yeah.
So when I first started working with Chris, what is it, Chris? 5 years? 4 years? More than that.
It's just 2015. It's been a grip.
Yeah, 2015. So that's when my album came out. That's when we met. That's right.
Hey.
So it's been a while, right? And it was cool to meet him and find out what he was working on with music, because he mixes a lot of different rhythms with Brazilian music. And that's something that I had always been interested in. So I think that the music is very different, but also has a lot of correlations. For example, the type of ways that we use similar harmonies applied in different ways, and the way that which is what music does for everyone, is want to help people feel good and be happy, or even express sadness or any kind of emotion. So I think that in that we can all be together in this musical world. So it's been interesting to work here and do mainly Brazilian music. And actually, we can talk a little bit more about this later. But we did mention on one of our conversations that I have been met with some resistance as far as doing music in a different language, because people will come at you and they'll be like, "Oh, well, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds good," you know. And it just makes us feel a little weird when you guys say that, because does it mean that, okay, you're only listening because you know me, but you don't listen to music from other parts of the world because you don't understand the language? Music itself is a language, and it's a language that anyone can understand. So that's one of my missions, is to spread this music throughout the whole world and to gain more of an acceptance here in the States, so that people can become more open-minded to it. And there are lots of wonderful people here who are very open to it and who love Brazilian music and come out to the shows. So,
And is there anything unique about Washington, D.C., the audience reactions or first-time learners about the music?
yeah, my main experience is here in DC, and also a little in New York, because obviously I've lived here for most of the time. And people here there is a strong Brazilian music, Brazilian culture community. There's people who dance, who are not Brazilian, who dance samba, who teach samba, who come to the shows, who help us promote the music, help us spread the culture. And it makes me feel really wonderful to see those people, because it means that we are able to share, within music, within culture, and show and remind us that we're all one.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And Chris Stiles, what are some of the rhythms, harmonies, and melodies which are relatable between both cultures, and that maybe pulled you into Brazilian music? How did you fall in this world?
Man, how did I fall into Brazilian music? Man, Brazilian music was stalking me, yo. So what happened is I started collaborating with a lot of jazz musicians to create this ensemble that I was working on. And when I was doing this, a lot of the jazz musicians was like they saw the way I was playing guitar and the style that I would use to play guitar, and they say, "Yo, Chris, you should really listen to this." And everyone, and then a bassist, and then another guy, they all handed me this recommendation to check out this Milton Nascimento album, right? That was released here in the States, right, by way of Quincy Jones and A&M Records and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so I didn't get a chance to really check it out at that time. I was like focusing on other things, right? And then next thing you know, I saw this one video of this group performing, and they had this really long cylindrical instrument called the tantan, right? And I was like, yo, what is this instrument? It's like a organic 808. It's like an 808 without electricity. I gotta get one of these things. And so these things kept coming together, and then I kept meeting people, and it started connecting the dots. And when I got a chance to meet Cisa, and you know what I'm saying, I messed up and I said 2015, right? 2015 was when we did Washington Sound Museum Hip Hop Meets Music of Brazil, and we went to Brazil and back. But we met in 2012. It was 2011 or 2012. Yeah, that's when we met. That's when we met.
Dates.
Man, I understand.
And we met at a non-musical event, right?
Yeah, we met at my boy Nia Khan's art exhibit. Yeah. And so Cisa put me on. Cisa put me on, yo. Like I had this tantan and stuff like that, and I was listening to some stuff on the side, but mostly you hear like bossa nova, especially in the jazz community and stuff. And I remember when she played some Javan for me. She played the song Akelium. That song, and that jump was just so funky. I was like, whoa, hold up. How come this ain't never come up on the Brazilian playlist in the United States? Like so funky. And then through that collaboration that we did back in 2012 for Washington Sound Museum in this initial stage when it was housed at Bloom Bars, man, the world opened up for me, and I started getting hip to new repertoire. And Cisa has great taste in music, great taste in repertoire. So if you go out to a party, for sure you're in the dance, you should have Shazam app ready. You know what I'm saying? You're going to Shazam some stuff, ask some questions. I mean, yeah, after that, the world just opened up for me.
That's beautiful. And for people who don't know, Javan is a critical artist in Brazil. He's like sort of a Stevie Wonder type. You can find him on YouTube or Spotify. If you search around his name, hopefully we can put it in the chat, but it's Javan, DJAVAN. And we have a listener or audience question. The question is from Betty, and it says that people, as we've moved online, have people become more less sensitive to sound quality issues, you know, since we're like using Wi-Fi, or are they more aware of it? What has your reaction been to
that? Do you want to go?
Oh man. So I used to be an audio engineer. I used to work in a studio and stuff, and so you know it's nice when you hear some good quality stuff. But I think we have no other choice, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We have been here. I think people have been very patient. You know what I'm saying? We're figuring it out. Ain't like, hey y'all, this COVID situation about to pop off in 3 months. So look, get all your equipment together. You know what I'm saying? See if you could get fiber optic, because it's going to give you HD streaming quality for upload speeds, and get your mics together. Nah, like we all had to figure this out like right here. It's like, you know, this goes down, quarantine stuff, you're social distancing, you're in your crib in your house, and you're like, okay, what equipment do I have that I could pull together to get great sound quality for streaming?
Exactly.
And then you just like,
I feel also that a lot of artists don't have the means to, especially now, because a lot of them are not working. And I see that a lot in Brazil, because it's even harder over there for if you're not making any money, if you can't work. So I think that people need to be very understanding, you know, and I hope that they are. And I feel like they are, as far as what I've seen online. I think people have been very understanding of things like that.
That's great. And then, you know, as and as a performer myself, I can tell you that live performances, sound can be just as bad or worse than online. So part of doing music is about the imperfections. Of course, we love to get an album that's clean. But speaking of which, I have another question coming in from someone on the chat asking that they've noticing that we all see a lot of social connections through our music and people we've met and encountered and got to know at our shows. And there seems to be a feeling of togetherness that comes from the music. Are you finding through that more solidarity in that way or other ways online that people are demonstrating what you're not seeing at shows right now?
Definitely. You see people sharing your live and sharing your music and commenting. That's really all we need, and it's all love. It's wonderful.
I know, and especially if you got like a Patreon too, like that's another thing for my artists watching. So if you have like a Patreon account, people can subscribe to your Patreon and support your projects on an ongoing basis. So I have one for doing my beatbox collaboration videos called Beatbox Remix, and people share that and they're supporting. Thank you so much, and thank you, Khadija.
That's great.
Hey.
A lot of great comments coming in too.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more questions, but I figured, we mentioned Bossa Nova, and I think that it's a wonderful way to get into Brazilian music and then learn Bossa Nova, but also experiment other styles. And as you said, Chris, that was one of the first things that jazz musicians talked about with you. Cisa, can you perform for us a little bit of Bossa Nova, and then just after you're done, maybe give us the name and tell us a little bit about it?
After I'm done?
Or you can do it before.
Yeah, so we were mentioning Luiz Bonfá, and I guess you can talk about this after this song. But let me. This is really funny, actually. We talked about this song because here it became kind of like a jazz standard, and in Brazil, the name of the song is called Manhã de Carnaval by Antônio Maria and Luiz Bonfá. And here in the States, I have a real book right here, and they name it Black Orpheus because it was in the movie Black Orpheus. So it's funny. Manhã tão bonita, manhã na vida uma nova canção, cantando só teus olhos, teu riso, tuas mãos, pois há de haver dia em que virás nas cordas do meu violão, que só teu amor procurou. Vem uma voz falar dos beijos perdidos nos lábios teus. Canto meu coração, alegria voltou, tão feliz amanhã desse amor.
All right, that is beautiful. Thank you.
Piece. Thank you. Yes, I just learned this song for you guys, so. So Nara Leão recorded this song. A lot of people, it's a huge, and here in the States, jazz standards, you go to play with some, and I also had a lot of experience here working with jazz musicians. Shout out to the jazz musicians of DC who are amazing. Love you guys. And I learned a lot from them. And this was one of the things that was cool to be like, yeah, let's play Black Orpheus. Because when I would say Manhã de Carnaval, they're like, what? What song are you talking about? Black Orpheus. Oh, okay. What key?
Yeah. For those of you who haven't seen this iconic movie from a French director that had Brazilian cast and it was from a Brazilian script from a theater piece. It's called Black Orpheus. I highly recommend checking it out. It has beautiful music. And Luiz Bonfá put many of those songs together. We have here at Smithsonian Folkways, an album of Luiz Bonfá's work. If you look in the chat, you'll find information. You can go there to either listen, read, and learn about him, or I think you can also purchase the album material there. So be sure to check that out. Chris, I have a question for you.
Wow.
People would love to know what fundamentals of beatboxing have been enriched by the rhythmic structure of Brazilian music? That question comes from Julia.
Yo, Julio got them questions. Man, let me tell you. I think I've been able to grow tremendously as a beatboxer and a musician during my time in Brazil. So every August, after the first time I went there to record this documentary, Cisa and I, for Washington Sound Museum, in 2015, I've been going there 1 month every year. So every August I'm there touring
Wow.
and stuff and collaborating and stuff. And so what I did, what you saw in the documentary, if you go to the beginning, if you saw the beginning of this stream, it's a lesson. It's me taking several lessons as well. So I learned how to play all the instruments, just regular style, and then creative reductions for beatbox. And so it's helped me so much because now I could just like I have so many different approaches to like rhythm now. I could do and that's just a basic like hip hop joint, right? And now because of doing this work, I've been able to take a lot of polyrhythms and put them together. Like for example, I'm just going to give you a quick joint. This is a style of music called forró from the Northeast. So it has this rhythm consists of three different instruments. One is called a zabumba, and it has like a bass. It's like a drum that has bass on one side, and the other side is used as a snare. Like so it's like, and then you have a triangle, right? And then you have a agogo. Oh, so then I have to take all of these things and make them happen together. So.
Wow.
And so then I'm creating a lot of variation and stuff also with the bass drum sound while maintaining the triangle sound and the agogo steady. So it's helped me so much as a musician because now I could do a lot of polyrhythms and it's now like just default, you know.
That is fantastic. Can you also, Chris, tell us a little about how maybe a little bit about go-go music and how you maybe mix that with Brazilian?
All right, yeah, man. So look, man, I'm from Southeast DC. I'm from a little hood called Condon Terrace. On the maps, it's called Washington Highlands, but we call it Condon Terrace. And so I'm born and raised in the carryout is where I spend most of my days. And so we have a style of music, y'all, that is from DC. A lot of cats don't know it because it's such a hyper local thing. So DC music is go-go, right? And now as of 2020 is now declared on paper as the official music of Washington DC. As far as we're concerned, as Washingtonians, it's always been the official music of DC. So look, it was created like around the like I would say 70s for sure. It was created around the 70s by a guy named Chuck Brown. There were some other groups called like the Young Senators and stuff like that, and they were doing their thing. So it's a style of music we call Chuck Brown the godfather of go-go music. It's a style of music that is straight up live. I mean, you could catch recordings, but this style of music is really meant to be live. You know what I'm saying? We don't put a lot of focus and emphasis on like albums. It's all about coming into the live show and experiencing this. And the music is called go-go because the original name for a party back then would be a go-go. So you go into a go-go, right? And also because the music plays continuously. So if the party's from 9 to 10 or 9 to 11, the band plays continuously without break. All right. And from 9 until 10 or 11 or whenever the cops decide they want to intervene. and they have a basic beat. So there's a basic beat. I'm gonna do it. It's very polyrhythmic. So you have the drum beat. Then you have the cowbell. So I don't have a conga or cowbell right now. So I'm gonna do this on the djembe. Right? And so this is the music. Then you have a cowbell, and so that incorporates a lot of Latin American influences as well into it. And you could do top 40 music over this one, or you could do original pieces. And there's a lot of like percussion solos, usually with the congas and stuff. But in DC, we don't call them congas, we call them congos. Like, oh, what are you playing? Oh, you playing the congos? Yeah, DC people, man. And we have really special congos too. We have 2 really small congos too that go with the regular ones that you'll see in any other like band. But they're called the junior congas, and they're only in go-go. If you see that setup, you know some DC folks are around.
Wow. And Chris, you prepared a clip that compared Brazilian music with American music, bass music with Brazilian.
Oh, which one? Oh, yeah, my friends. So look, man, in traveling over in Brasilia and in DC just so many times, it just blows my mind to see the similarities. For me, I always say it's like black sci-fi, because it's like people that look like me and stuff like that, all look different to me, but we have like the same type of thing going on. Like, you know, like if I'm here and we eat like chicken and collard greens and the chicken is fried, I go over there, I get frango frito and Kobe. It's just like, it's the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's the African roots. So this one, right? So there's a really interesting style of music that I came across called Bali Funky, right? It's one of the more contemporary things. And I found some interesting similarities to another style of music that comes from here. And we could talk about that afterwards though. But yeah, I put a clip together for you all. I edited it.
Great, let's roll that clip.
Boy, you should know that I've got you on my mind, your secret admirer. I've been watching you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If your love is strong, I'll give my all to you.
Se ela dança, eu danço. Se ela dança, eu danço. Se ela dança, eu danço. Falei com o DJ pra fazer diferente. Bota chapa quente pra gente dançar. Me diz quem é a menina que dança e fascina, que alucina querendo beijar. Ela só quer se beijar. Beijar, beijar, beijar. E vem comigo dançar.
Wow.
Yo,
That's a party.
for real though.
Party music.
You're like,
Both
"See, I like
countries, both hoods. You just in there, you know. So the similarities are amazing. Like even in the artwork, right? You see the artwork. I mean,
Yeah.
they're separated by like they're separated by a decade, but it's the same type of thing. And I come to find out that style of music, Bali Funky, it's a result of Brazilians being in the United States and listening to stuff like Africa Bambaataa, like Soul Sonic Force, like that song, and then it going down to Miami, and it's called like Miami bass, and then in that case it's Atlanta, and so it's called bass music, right? And so that's the music you be clubbing to, and you know you pop it to, you know what I'm saying? That's some
And we call it funk in Brazil, which is not what American funk is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you're like, oh, you want to listen to funk? I'm like, yeah, I love funk music. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, no, this ain't funk, this bass right here. This that Luke, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just want, if anyone out there is going to Google Brazilian funky, you're going to enjoy it. Be careful. You might see some wild stuff. It's really party music, but it's very contemporary music
Twerking.
starting in Rio de Janeiro.
same with bass, but it's the same thing. It developed in hoods, and then in this case, in favelas, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like we're just connected in all these ways, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're cross-pollinating and sharing influence all the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Cisa, since Chris is talking about Chuck, who is the father of go-go music, I know that you are a student of Luis Gonzaga, who is sort of the creator of Brazilian baião and forró music, and you play forró. So why don't you, for people who don't know it yet, why don't you tell us a little bit about what forró music is?
Sure. So forró is a type of music. It's a rhythm. It's a dance. and it comes from the northeast of Brazil. It originated in these parties that they used to have where they used to call them for all. For all, then the gringos, so that they could speak Portuguese and that they would feel welcome. And then, but the way Brazilians said it, it just became for all, for all, for all, for all, for all, for all.
The People's Party.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful because it really does bring people together, and really it's a very happy kind of music, and it's easy to dance. Anybody can dance, and it makes you feel good, and you just, you know, you're close to somebody, but it's not creepy close. Sometimes some guys are creepy. You try to get the guys that aren't creepy to dance with, and it's just really, really fun. And the music itself has many different rhythms. They're all similar to forró. So you mentioned Luis Gonzaga. We call him the Rei do Baião, the King of Baião. He started, I guess, popping out in the 40s and 50s. So it's been a long time. This music has been around for a long time, and it's still popular. And that shows you how valuable it is, because it just never goes out of style, right? When you have something traditional and beautiful like that, it just doesn't go out of style. And it really doesn't. It's really fun. So Luis Gonzaga has gigantic amount of music that he wrote and performed and co-wrote, and he's just an amazing guy. So you should definitely check him out if you haven't heard his music.
We need to do that. We need to do that. Chris, have you were in Brasilia, which is my hometown, and I know it's very popular for forró. What was your experience encountering that type of music?
Man, let me tell you, forró is my favorite, man. It's my favorite. It's my favorite genre of Brazilian music.
Why is that?
Like, why? Let's see. I think it's really, the beats just dope, right? So you have like Baião, or so I'm hearing that, I'm like, oh, this is like dancehall reggae. Sima. Who got the, you know what I'm saying? You know, so you got those things. So that's all Caribbean, Africa, you know, that's all Africanisms and stuff right there. So you have rhythms like that, and also, and then one type of beat, right? So Baião, I was doing Baião, but the forró rhythm, the rhythm that's actually called forró, is this. And I'm like, hold on, that's that Kanye West beat. Kanye
We
West
can all connect to that.
around his early career, he would use that beat all the time. I don't think he knows about that, but it's just, go listen to the song that he produced for Jay-Z called Izzo. H to the Izzo, B to the Izzy. So it's just like, it's these connections. So for her, it's like these rhythms that I'm familiar with, but they have like different like twists on them. And then the accordion is great, and just dancing to it is great. So I like to dance a lot of forró. So that's why I'm doing a lot in Brazil. In Brasilia, I'm eating açaí, dancing forró, and making music.
So let me just make the audience aware. In the chat, we just shared, for all of you that have children, and want to do some fun activities, we just shared a lesson plan from Folkways about music and dance in Brazil. It's focused a little more towards samba, but it does mention all these other rhythms at the very end. Very fun. Even if you don't have kids, I think it's a great way to learn and have fun at home right now. I have a clip that you also prepared, Cissa and Chris, Cristals, about mixing go-go with forró.
Yeah.
Why don't we roll that clip right now, and then we can talk about it.
All right.
Eu vou mostrar pra você como se faz o baião. E quem quiser aprender, é favor prestar atenção. Morena, chega pra cá, vem junto ao meu coração. Agora é só me seguir, pois eu vou dançar o baião. Eu disse baião. Baião, 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 baião.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. And it worked perfectly. It ties together perfectly.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, go-go rolls like this. You could take anything and put that go-go pocket on it, and it's gonna be good to go. And with that Baião piece, that Gonzaga joint, it just, you know, it just got some rock with it, you know.
So funky.
Yeah,
And you
That's
wanted
it.
to know what Bayon was, that listen to that song.
exactly.
That's
Mhm.
great. So, just so everyone knows, that was an example of a song called Asa Branca from Luis Gonzaga, right?
Oh, Bayonne.
Bayon, sorry, Bayon by Luis
Bayon,
Gonzaga.
That's a
yeah.
And
dope tune though. But Casablanca's a joint.
that's another iconic
Casablanca's
tune.
good too, yeah.
So I want to take a couple of questions from the listeners right now as we're sort of closing out the program.
Oh.
And we had one question that relates to someone noticed, Chris Styles, how you look impeccable
Oh, thank you
and
so
you
much.
dress. And what is sort of the relation that dress has with the performances? Also for you, Sisa, at your shows, you always dress beautifully and people always
That's
comment
good.
on it. Can you tell us a little bit about that relationship, maybe the audience, how they relate to it?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Mhm.
I say double dutch. I'm just about waiting to
Yeah,
jump
go
in.
for it.
Oh. I so for me about man dressing attire. So look, man, I grew up in a Section 8 house. We was in the projects. My mom was taking care of me, my older brother, my little sister by herself with a disability. Man, look, we didn't really have a lot going on for us as far as like apparel, you know. And you know, I used to rock the hand-me-downs. I used to dress like everyone else in my hood and stuff, but then I saw that I as an artist, I wanted to try some different style, like choose to buy different shoes or whatever, but then people will like talk mess about you. And I was like, wow, that's kind of oppressive, you know? And so, but as an artist, you know, saying we create and we express ourselves in different ways. And for me, I just wanted as a person in life and as a musician, I just want to put my best foot forward when I'm stepping out the house every day. You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know what I'm saying? I used to wear stuff with holes in it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very happy to be like this. And you know, uh,
Remember the first time we went to Brazil, Chris was like, what am I gonna wear there? Because this is all I have. And I'm
no,
like, I think you look great.
oh, and I have and my wardrobe is like it's not anything like really ridiculous or big. It's nothing serious. It's a straight up capsule wardrobe, straight minimalist. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like about like four like pants or something like that, like five like of these shirts, and then like maybe 6 jackets, and then different accessories that just go in and out and just mix and match it. It's like making Thai food. It's like, what you want? Okay, we're gonna do a noodle, a sauce, and then a protein, and then we just gonna mix them all together. Which one you want? Pass you? Okay, boom, boom, boom.
That's
You know?
Let me just say before we move on, Sisa, Chris was also voted in Washingtonian magazine one of the best dressed. Is that right? Recently, like
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you.
congratulations. And Sisa,
That's what's up. No, I think that question's more for Chris because he really does make a statement with the way that he dresses, and it creates this impression about him, and it's a really wonderful thing. So I think that he says a lot with that, and he also uh, I think I don't want to speak for you, but I think that he helps people who may think that they're not able to dress this way or to play a certain part, or that they have to look a certain way, to rethink that and say, no, actually I can dress like this, and I can
okay.
I can
On that note, Cecil, let me ask you, because this is a Brazil and DC program. What is it about the Brazilian scene here that inspires you to keep creating and sharing with audiences? Some things that maybe keep you going, and you can also share maybe some challenges.
Sure. I mentioned in the beginning that I have met with some resistance because of singing in a different language, and that is something that has come up for me a lot. And that's not that people are trying to say anything negative when they say that, but it just does feel that way, that they're a little bit like not as welcoming to the music because it's in a different language, and they feel like they can't understand it. But like I said in the beginning, music is universal, and music is a language in and of itself. So you don't necessarily have to understand the words. You can seek out to understand the words later. If you like a particular song and you say, wow, I really want to know what this song's about, then you can go on the internet, ask a friend or whatever the case may be, or ask me what the song is about, or find a translation, because there are lots of translations and things like that. The thing that keeps me going are the folks that come to the shows and the people that keep supporting my work, all my friends, my musicians like Chris and the jazz musicians in DC, the musicians in Brazil who are super virtuous as well that I work with and that I admire from afar some, and also the icons, the really famous people who are amazing, and we can only watch them with our mouths open.
Okay, that's great. And Chris, you being a Washingtonian, but having learned about Brazilian music, what do you find when you go to a Brazilian show like Cissa Paz? I see you're there, I'm going a lot too, and I see you dancing a lot or participating with audience and then performing. What is it about the scene here that's so unique and special and creates a sense of identity and community?
Let's see. What I like about the scene, I mean, people go hard, for sure. And for the culture, you know what I'm saying? Especially like when you're separated from the culture and stuff like that, it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna have to go hard, we're gonna have to go even harder and learn this. I mean, I love that in DC I could go and see so many people perform Brazilian music, and I could go out dancing and dance for whole and samba multiple times in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's good stuff. So I like it. I like being a DC youngin in the Brazilian setting. I like being I like being a DC youngin abroad too. It's powerful to have your own culture, but come in and respect other people's cultures and get to know it and participate in it at the same time. And we share resources and we grow together,
That's beautiful. So we're getting close again. I want to address the current situation and ask you guys, so now that you were in the COVID world, unfortunately, how have you been sort of creating, and people have been, what have you been doing? How have people been reacting? What are the challenges? And then, if possible, maybe Cissa can answer the next one. Like, how do you envision a post-COVID world?
Yeah. So you want Chris to start?
Chris, if you can start. I know.
I double dash. Here we go. About to jump in. Y'all ready? Keep turning the rope. Oh, so look how man. So what I'm doing for the COVID, you know what I'm saying, joint, man. What a time. And for real, crazy enough, I'm in this crib though. I'm in my crib, but it's hella busy though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm putting together videos. I'm learning all types of skill sets. People are reaching out to me. I saw someone that was just asking about workshops in the comments section. And yeah, I'm doing stuff like that. I'm putting together a lot of live streams. I've done 2 live streams for Strathmore concerts, and I'm going to be teaching beatbox workshops. Just type in beatboxremix.com and you could find me. And then I started a straight up weekly video series called Beatbox Remix. And with that, every week I have to bridge the cultural divide and work with a different musician from a different country, different genre of music. And so for last week, it just happened to be Brazilian music with this amazing composer and pianist and singer and vocalist named Clarissa Saad from Brazil as well. And that's been dope. And this week it's gonna be music from Argentina. And so every week I'm doing this, and it keeps me really busy. And I have a Patreon for it. So if you type in Beatbox Remix, you could support that series and donate stuff. So it keeps a brother hella busy, And then post COVID, I mean, I think a lot of people, I think they're going to be some people that are going to have PTSD. I think it's going to be weird for people to hear a person cough and just like, they're going to be like, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I think people are going to be really sensitive, and especially our elders and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like this situation is like it's like a rubber band, like a slingshot, and you go like this, and then we can push further apart. We can pull far apart, like a rubber band in this case. And hold on, there you go. And so when we're able to be out, I feel like we're going to come together in a really big way. I think the arts are going to do really well, and I think people are going to really appreciate people a bit more, and really appreciate like the closeness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a very inspiring message. I really, really love that metaphor, and it's very hopeful. Cissa, we're just running out of time. Can you just share something with us quickly?
Sure. So I've been doing similar things. I've been doing a lot of different videos and collaborations with people in Brazil and here as well. So you can look at some videos on my website or on my YouTube channel. You can see what I've been doing, just collaborating kind of like the video I did with Chris, but with different
Hey.
artists in different places of the world. It's been actually really cool to do that. Being able to collaborate with people, because this gives us an opportunity. You know what, we're home, we got to do something, because if you're an artist, you know, you have to create. There's just no other choice. So it's been nice to be able to do that and work with different people. And I've got a few other ones that I'm going to come out with.
You'll
And
be ready to go as soon as we're out.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. I know we're
Yay.
running out
Okay,
of time.
so Chris and Cece, if you don't mind posting in the chat so people can read about where they can go on your Patreon and to support you and about your projects. Everyone, you can see it there. This video will be available later. I do want to thank some people before we go away. So let me mention here that we want to give our sincere thanks to Chris Bacon, of course, Cece Pies, for joining us today. And this event is part of Brazil DC, an outreach project of the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. Brazil DC received federal support from Latino Initiatives Pool, administered by Smithsonian Latino Center. Next week is the start of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. We're collaborating with our colleagues at Smithsonian's Asian Pacific American Center on a program featuring Carnatic jazz vocalist Aditya Prakash. He'll share music and be in conversation with NPR and Pacifica radio host Beto Arcos. In the meantime, I want to close by offering my sincere thanks to Elisa Ho, Sarah Rothman, Jeannie Maycock, Diane Nutting, Josue Castilleja, Zaki Gul, Albert Tong, Amalia Cordova, Cristina Diaz-Carrera, Julia Gutierrez Rivera, Sojin Kim for their production and promotion efforts. And finally, thank you everyone for watching and participating in the chat. Make sure you follow Smithsonian Folklife page to get notifications about future events. We'll see you here again next week. Ciao, ciao. And if we can roll the clip just to go on the way out, that'd be great. Bye-bye.
4